Hello everyone, it's me, Riley, and welcome to Riley's Kingdom of News right here on WRMK News Radio. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. We got a jam-packed program to get to on this Tuesday, so let's begin right now. First up, President Joe Biden scheduled to visit New Hampshire today. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
The president scheduled to land here in the Queen City at 2:40 this afternoon before making his way to Concord in that official event at NHTI, which is scheduled to start at 3:45 this afternoon.
I had an appointment and I said I got to reschedule that. Actually, I got to go see the president.
Daniel Fojit has had a change in plans. As the Student Senate president at NHTI, he says he's one of just 3 students who've been invited to hear President Joe Biden speak on campus Tuesday.
I can't believe that I was extended this opportunity.
Biden is expected to talk about his administration's work on lowering prescription drug costs.
It reminds me of all those visits we had right before the primary from cabinet secretaries, where you had visits that were ostensibly about policy making, about the administration's accomplishments and those sorts of things.
While this is an official White House visit, it comes exactly 2 weeks before Election Day. St. Anselm political professor Chris Galdieri says that's a strategic move.
New Hampshire is sort of at the top of the second tier of swing states, is how I've been describing it a lot this year. We're not Pennsylvania, we're not Arizona.
Even though polls show that Vice President Kamala Harris is leading over former President Donald Trump in New Hampshire, Galdieri says clearly the Democrats are taking no chances.
I think it's about making sure that New Hampshire stays in the Democratic column the way it has for the last few elections, and trying to prevent it from slipping into the Trump column while nobody's looking.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will be accompanying the president to his official event at NHTI. The president is scheduled to depart New Hampshire shortly after 6. Reporting live at the Manchester-Boston Regional Airport, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. We want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts on this. Email us at rknetwork1995@gmail.com. That is rknetwork1995@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on this. Harris Walt's campaign has more than 100 paid staffers, 17 field offices right in New Hampshire. Yeah, very interesting. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
On any fall weekend this election season, walk into one of the Democratic offices opened by the Kamala Harris campaign, and you're going to see some activity.
This is a game of inches.
Since Kamala Harris became the Democratic nominee, plenty of volunteers are turning out to pick up these clipboards and head out canvassing. The Harris campaign says these coordinated efforts are going on in all 10 counties and across college campuses statewide. The campaign has 100-plus paid staff members and 17 field offices. The Trump campaign has its headquarters in Manchester, along with remote locations now in Campton and Rochester. This ground game disparity was noted recently by Governor Chris Sununu.
Trump is not fighting aggressively for the state. I still think he's going to do very well here. I really do. But he's not putting a lot of the resources on the ground, which is probably keeping those resources are often duplicated at the state rep, state senate, and governor's level. So the candidates really have to kind of fight on, just simply on their own.
Republicans are not lacking in enthusiasm. Trump's top New Hampshire allies say they recently topped 2,000 volunteers statewide.
The best way to convince somebody to vote for Donald Trump and the entire Republican ticket is to knock on their door and tell them why.
Trump is known for drawing voters to the polls who might not otherwise be on the radar of the campaigns. But New Hampshire Democrats are confident in their coordinated campaign, and they believe it'll deliver, not just for Kamala Harris, but far down the ballot.
What you see on the ground from the Democratic coordinated campaign is a real commitment to having that kind of conversation with voters that is the hallmark of democracy.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Very interesting how Harris and Walt's campaign has more than Donald Trump. So that is very interesting. What do you guys think? Email me at rknetwork1995@gmail.com right now with your thoughts. Acting U.S. Secretary of Labor visits Child Care Center in Brettonwood. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Can you give me 5? Hi, Carla. Oh, my God.
Acting Secretary of Labor Julie Sue visited A Place to Grow, a child care center in Brentwood. She says this sector of work is too often overlooked and undervalued.
So we actually see the need here for real treating this as a part of infrastructure, right? Childcare as infrastructure is really the way we look at it. It can't be just something that where individual families have to like figure it out and make really impossible choices.
Sue is here highlighting a new Biden administration apprenticeship program that aims to help child care workers gain business skills.
And the training will allow them to understand how to do things like balance a budget, right? How to operate a business, and that will help to increase the availability of childcare here in New Hampshire.
Owner Jennifer Legere says there are state regulations that are crucial to ensuring child care center safety and quality, and others that hold centers back when it comes to workforce.
When you take someone with a skill set of like a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and we had a teacher who has her nurse practitioner license, she can write prescriptions for people and save your life, but she wasn't qualified to be anything more than an assistant teacher when she came into our school. That's really hard because as moms, we're doing a lot of career shuffling. We're staying home, we're working part-time so that we can support our families. So you need something that's more agile in honoring those skills that these women come to the table with.
Senator Jean Shaheen says the state and federal government and the private sector can all do more to solve this problem.
We need centers like this. This is an amazing center, a place to grow here in Brentwood. But we also need home care, and we need to recognize that the requirements for both of those aren't going to be the same, and we need to be more flexible.
In Brentwood, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with them or no? Email us at rknetwork1995@gmail.com. That's rknetwork1995@gmail.com. We want your thoughts and opinion on that. Trump ramps up attack as battle of undecided voters intensify. Let's take a listen to that report from CBS News.
Good evening, I'm Nora O'Donnell, and thank you for joining us. Election Day is just over 2 weeks away, and the fight for every single last undecided vote in battleground states is intensifying. Vice President Kamala Harris is targeting disaffected Republican voters by hitting the trail with Liz Cheney in the crucial blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Cheney was a powerful Republican congresswoman, and today she called Harris a responsible adult. As for former President Donald Trump, he was back in North Carolina again, pushing false claims about FEMA and immigrants. That's after he spent the weekend slinging a crude insult at Harris, engaging in lewd locker room talk about the late golfing legend Arnold Palmer, and staging a campaign stunt at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. We have correspondents covering both campaigns tonight. CBS's Robert Costa is going to lead us off tonight from North Carolina, where Trump had several events today. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening, Nora. For former President Donald Trump, closing arguments have begun with raucous rallies and language that set the stage for a rough and tumble finish. Former President Trump kicked off his closing arguments today and ramped up his attacks on Vice President Harris.
Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Earlier, Trump delivered remarks near an area of North Carolina battered by Hurricane Helene.
The power of nature. Nothing you can do about it.
Once again, falsely accusing FEMA of misdirecting relief money.
They spent a lot of money on bringing illegal migrants, people that came into our country illegally, and taking them in, so they don't have any money for the people that live here.
Trump's denunciations, which federal officials have dismissed as untrue, are just the latest barrage in an increasingly aggressive and harsh battle with Harris, with Saturday's rally in Pennsylvania a turning point.
We can't stand you, you're a vice president. The worst.
At that same rally, Trump also veered into the vulgar, as he described the late golfing great Arnold Palmer.
When he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God.
That's unbelievable.
Still, while Trump's critics see his conduct as alarming and bizarre, many Trump voters shrug it off as Trump being Trump and cheered him on Sunday when he made a campaign-coordinated stop at a McDonald's in Battleground, Pennsylvania. CBS News asked him if he supported raising the federal minimum wage.
Now that you've worked the minimum wage job, do you think the minimum wage should be raised?
Well, I think these people work hard. They're great.
In Detroit today, Harris brought up Trump's answer.
I think everyone knows that the current federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, which means that the person who is working a full day and working full weeks will make $15,000 a year, which is essentially poverty wages. So there is a big difference between Donald Trump and me on a number of issues.
And tonight, Trump is here in North Carolina to meet with evangelical leaders. Many of them tell me they don't love Trump's behavior on every front, but they like his policies and his push to put more conservatives on the Supreme Court. Nora.
Robert Costa, thank you very much.
Okay, and there you go on that. Let us know your thoughts on that. Email us at arcadenetwork1995@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. And that is for this Tuesday edition of Riley's Kingdom of News right here on WRMK News Radio. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Have a fantastic Tuesday. We'll talk to you all tomorrow for another broadcast. Bye now.